Did you hear what the Tories did last Christmas?
The Prime Minister has refused to deny that Christmas parties were held in Downing Street last year when the UK was in lockdown.
There were several dozen people there with food and drink and games, and it went on past midnight.
It's unbelievable. Don't clap. Fucking Boris is in the front row. We had a great time, and an absolutely smashing time. It's unbelievable. We were locked down, they're having a conga. Ba-da-da-da, fuck you. Ba-da-da-da, eat shit. Ba-da-da-da, hey, ba-da-da-da. It is such a piss take, man. We had hand, face, space. They had candy, brandy, hand, shandy. Did you see them scrabbling to cover it up?
All guidance was followed.
The guidance was followed.
No rules were broken.
Oh, fuck off. Like, we followed the rules. Yeah, if the rules were made by Rita Ora... yeah. You know I'm right. People were furious. They wanted to get the police involved, to which Dominic Raab said this.
The police have been very clear. They'll look at any letter, but they don't normally look back and investigate things that have taken place a year ago.
The police don't investigate things from more than a year ago. Crime doesn't have a sell-by date. It doesn't go off. It's murder, not milk. We found a body. Yeah, but it's curdled. Mind you, if crime did expire after a year, this guy would be delighted. You know, because some of his friends have been investigated. It's unreal, isn't it? The Tories had a piss-up while we were in lockdown. Christ, do they know how tough it was? Do they know how many fucking Zoom quizzes we had to do? Do you remember that? No, Mum, the capital of France is not F. No, Nan, an Australian dog is not called a dildo. But then this is the Tories, innit? One rule for them, one rule for us. I mean, take masks. This is how most of us feel.
Who cares if you've got to wear a face mask?
I've never stopped wearing it.
It's a rule. Use it.
Whereas Tory MP Steve Baker compared wearing a mask to this.
So this is a fundamental choice, I would say, between heading towards heaven and heading towards hell.
No, it's not. Hell is boiling in lava as the devil shoves a fork up your arse. Not a bit of cloth on your face. Also, I love the fact he doesn't think masks are necessary, but he's wearing a tie. How are they necessary? What do ties do?
I mustn't let people see my buttons. So I keep that bit of my body warmer than over here.
This is what life's like, man. Sometimes you do things for other people you don't want to do. Wear a mask. Open a door. Put suntan lotion on your mum's back. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Besides, hell isn't wearing a mask. It's being on this train.
Wearing a mask is like trying to keep a fart in your trousers.
But then this is what some MPs do, create a drama out of nothing. I mean, one Tory MP was mocked after suggesting female Doctor Who has fuelled crime by men. How ludicrous is that? Do you know what I mean? Why'd you steal that car? Because Doctor Who's got a fanny. It's so ridiculous. You think I'm joking? Listen to him.
In recent years, we have seen Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Luke Skywalker, The Equalizer, all replaced by women, and men are left with the Craze and Tommy Shelby. Is there any wonder we are seeing so many young men committing crime?
What are you talking about? TV and films don't let you do stuff. I love Star Wars. I'd never try to kill my dad and fuck my sister. Not once, man. I haven't. Although my mum does talk like Yoda.
Go shops, you must.
The Prime Minister warns we're facing an Omicron emergency as he sets out a bold new plan for boosters.
The Prime Minister made the announcement in a televised address after warning that a tidal wave of Omicron is coming.
We must urgently reinforce our wall of vaccine protection to keep our friends and loved ones safe.
Must we? Well, you didn't give a shit about anyone's loved ones last Christmas, did you, Boris? We obeyed the rules. You and your mates were on the lash.
It now appears there were 7 parties in and around Westminster last Christmas.
7 parties! We were locked down. They had a week-long Mardi Gras. I bet by the end of the week, Boris was doing this. And yet, his ministers are still denying these parties even happened.
I don't even know if an event took place, but if it did, that no rules were broken.
What a load of shit. The event didn't happen, but if it did happen, then it won't have happened how you think it happened. Case closed, or open. Downing Street advisors were laughing at us. Did you see what they called the party?
His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
It was a business meeting. Really? Because by the end of it, many were rat-arsed. They probably left this business meeting like this. They weren't just shit-faced. They did a quiz. And look who hosted it.
It's the 15th of December last year, inside 10 Downing Street. Boris Johnson is hosting a round of a staff Christmas quiz. 2 colleagues are either side of him, one with tinsel wrapped around him.
Boris was running the quiz. What a piss take. Question 1. We're in a national lockdown. Should we A, obey the rules like everybody else? Or B, do what the fuck we want? We're the Tories. Fuck those peasants. Fuck them like the muggles they are. And despite being photographed there, he's still denying it even happened.
Mr Johnson has repeatedly said there was no party, that no rules were broken. Now he appears to have ordered an investigation to see if what he was saying was true.
He's ordered an investigation to see if he was lying. He was there. He was there next to a man covered in tinsel and a woman with either a tiny hat or a massive head. And if you think the Tories took the mick, look at the police reaction to these illegal parties.
The Metropolitan Police says it will not investigate allegations that staff at Downing Street broke COVID restrictions by holding a Christmas party because of a lack of evidence.
Now, I'm no expert, but surely the point of an investigation is to find evidence. You know, like a photo. It's like the police have got a dead body on the floor and there's a man in front of them holding a knife, covered in blood, with a T-shirt that says, "It was me. I killed him," and they're like, "I don't know, I'm not seeing it." Boris Johnson's all over the place. I mean, take the new COVID rules. On the one hand, he's saying this.
We will reintroduce the guidance to work from home.
Then, seconds later, he's saying this.
We think that it's OK currently on what we can see to keep going with Christmas parties.
So, apparently, this is a COVID hotspot. But this is absolutely fine. if Boris is suggesting that alcohol makes people in this country more responsible, I refer you to this headline: Drunk fought invisible man. And in case you're not convinced, never forget that a 25-year-old man in relatively high spirits on a night out in Barnstable, Devon, tried to make love to an ambulance. So, will people follow the new rules? Yes, they will, in possibly the most British way ever. Over 1 million people are going to a Christmas rave at 10 Downing Street this Christmas Eve. Let's all wake up, Boris! Let's all wake up, Boris! So I cannot wait for the moment the police try and arrest them. This isn't a rave, officer. This is a business meeting. In fact, I've actually got my business card here. And let's all ignore that my dancing for a rave was that. I've never been to a rave, but I imagine not a lot of that, is there, all right? Good rave today, innit? They got a buffet in this rave, or what? The only... That's on fucking telly. The only problem with continuing to party like I've just shown, it could overwhelm the NHS.
They've said, go ahead and carry on partying. And that is an extremely confusing and dangerous message to give to the public.
It's tough, man, because hospital staff are working their bollocks off. They've got to jab 1 million people a day. They're already dealing with the backlog of operations caused by COVID in the first place. And on top of that, they're dealing with perverts like this. Man goes to hospital with World War II shells stuck in bottom. You're right to make that noise. Talking of tits, Nick Clegg was back in the news.
The contrite Nick Clegg has appealed to voters to forgive him for breaking his promise not to raise tuition fees.
We made a pledge, we didn't stick to it, and for that I'm sorry.
And how did the public react? They took the piss.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. There's no easy way to say I'm sorry.
It's so catchy, isn't it? Oh, you did make me a cup of tea. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Not the dance, that's weird. Did the apology work? Not really. I mean, look what this guy wants to do to the Lib Dems.
Every single Lib Dem should be dragged down to the street and stripped naked and pecked to death by pigeon chickens that have got no feet because they've been burnt off by their own shit.
Whoa! I've been angry. I've never invented an animal. Why are you so much? Release the hippo mice! Poor old Cleggy. He's had a tough week. Not even his supporters like him.
And these people were big, they were bold. They might, even in modern terms, they might have been quite ruthless, because they swept aside quite a lot of objections, but they created the infrastructure for a modern society. We have to rewire the United Kingdom, both literally, for the digital age, but also in the wider sense.
Female staff in Parliament have accused some MPs of sexual harassment.
Dozens of MPs have been named on a spreadsheet compiled by Conservative researchers, accusing them of inappropriate behaviour.
You would have sort of micro sexual aggression. So women would get up in the chamber and Tories opposite would do this gesture like they were weighing their breasts.
How depressing is that? Women are getting up in Parliament and they're like... Some of the details that have come out are unbelievable. Look what Tory MP Mark Garnier got his secretary to do.
The Cabinet Office is to investigate whether International Trade Minister Mark Garnier broke the ministerial code after he admitted asking his secretary to buy sex toys.
We're in the middle of Brexit and he's like, Miriam! Fetch Daddy a dildo. Can it get creepier? Yeah. Look, when he asked her to get them, the sex toys were bought after a Christmas lunch. What? Who does that after roast turkey? Most people watch Wallace and Gromit. He's like... Christ! I mean, what carols is he singing? Just 5 cock rings, 4 anal beads, 3 butt plugs, 2 nipple clamps, and a partridge up my ring pin. It's not just Tories behaving like perverts. Labour have been dealing with their own problems.
Labour has suspended and launched an investigation into the behaviour of MP Jared O'Mara following comments he made online.
There was reference to having an orgy with the pop band Girls Aloud. There were comments on fat women, disparaging comments, and he referred to gays as fudge packers and driving up the Marmite motorway.
Labour were appalled. The Tories were shocked. UKIP said, we'll have him. Now, he wasn't just homophobic. He referred to teenage girls as sexy little slags. He's northern, that's why I did that. and some people are saying, yeah, but it was 15 years ago. But one woman in Sheffield claimed this year that he said, I wouldn't touch you with a manky woman's cock, you ugly bitch. If that's true, not only is that horrifically offensive, it doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't rub my granddad's tits on you. Can it get worse? Yes, it can. Look where he worked. The Women and Equalities Committee. How did he get that job?
Morning, ladies. Don't worry, I'm a feminist. I love slags. Let's get rid of the glass ceiling and put in a mirrored floor. Come on.
It's so depressing. Homophobia, sexism. It just feels like all our MPs are beneath us. And we need them to work for us because winter's coming and the NHS isn't going to cope. I mean, did you hear about this story?
Patients recovering from surgery could be put up in Airbnb-style accommodation to try to help the NHS free up more hospital beds.
Hospital patients in an Airbnb. What next? Replacing ambulances with Uber? Just doctors picking patients on Tinder? Just no. It's been a bad week for the Tories. It wasn't just the climate deal. They are dripping in sleaze.
The Prime Minister is accused of corruption and trashing democracy as MPs debate parliamentary standards.
There have been calls for more resignations, for apologies and for public inquiries.
For lobbying.
Second jobs.
Seats in the House of Lords.
COVID contracts.
Breaking the rules.
Sleaze.
Sleaze.
It's unbelievable. One of the worst was Geoffrey Cox. He's the MP for Torridge and West Devon, and yet, look where he was during lockdown.
But Sir Geoffrey Cox spent a chunk of the year working in the British Virgin Islands.
He was in the Caribbean. F*** you, West Devon! It's happy hour down the Calypso Club! Now, predictably, some of his constituents were less than impressed.
How can he be representing people here in West Devon if he's spending a month in the Virgin Islands?
This guy, a little bit more peeved.
You're a bunch of
No wonder he's angry. Have you seen how much money Cox has earned on the side?
Turns out he's earned almost £6 million since becoming an MP through second jobs.
And yet, this is the same guy who tried to charge the taxpayer £2 for a box of tea bags. That's right, he's physically and metaphorically teabagging the nation. And what's worse, there was an emergency debate on sleaze in Parliament. Look how many Tories went.
Only 46 out of 360 Tory MPs bothered to turn up to debate it.
It was a debate about MPs doing their job, and they didn't even go. No one else could do that. Why didn't you come in for your job review? Oh, I've written it down here. I couldn't be f***ed. I wish I'd known about this as a kid. Mum, I'm not going to parents' evening. They're going to make me look like a dick. You got to go, you got to learn that. Even Boris Johnson missed the debate because he was doing what he does best, going to a hospital and not wearing a mask. And yet, despite all this, the Tories are still ahead of Labour in the polls. Boris Johnson is Teflon, nothing sticks. He gets away with anything. I'm not mucking around. He could give Ed Sheeran a wedgie, punch Mary Berry in the tits, and people would still go, he's all right, though, isn't he? Isn't he? He could be caught in a nursery doing Jaeger bombs dressed as Jimmy Savile, and people would still be like, I just prefer him to Keir Starmer. It hasn't been much better for Labour. Did you see the moment Jeremy Corbyn got slammed by a reporter?
You say that leaders must allow others to play the part, but isn't the truth that your personal poll ratings are so bad that you are part of the problem for your party?
Thanks.
Kate.
That is the worst comeback ever. You shit! Thanks. He's having a tough time, man. He's having a tough time keeping his party together. First, Tom Watson quit as the deputy leader of the Labour Party, and then 2 former Labour MPs urged voters to back Boris Johnson. That is huge. To put that into context, that would be like Greta Thunberg doing an advert for EasyJet. Trees, I don't care. I now fly with Ryanair. Whilst burning a seal. Now, the Labour Party have faced intense criticism from the Jewish community. So much so, Jeremy Corbyn went out and had to say this.
Anti-Semitism is a poison and an evil in our society.
And people breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, Corbyn's anti-Semitism problems are over. And then this story hit the press. One of his shadow ministers belted out "Hey Jews" to the tune of "Hey Jude." Fuck me. Corbyn cannot catch a break. He's there going, Labour for the many, not the few. Next thing you know, his mates are like, nah, 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 Nazis. Not now, Jeff! I'm trying to win back the nation. Adolf the red-nosed reindeer had some pretty shocking views. Shut the fuck up, Prince.